Now you mentioned not letting coaches go, not letting GMs go.
Oh,
It's a team that shares the arena with y'all over at MetLife that has the other locker room called the New York Jets. They have recently, after already firing Salah this year, coaches, they have fired their GM Joe Douglas, and there's been reports saying, "Hey, it's not the GM, it's not the coach, it's the owners that's the problem." And there's reports that came out, article came out that essentially the New York Jets are the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC. Woody Johnson and Jerry Jones easily are viewed as, and some would say are facts, of the worst owners in the NFL. Miles, as the Jets aficionado on the show, our Jets beat writer, our Jets insider, do you agree with the viewpoint that, y'all the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC, man?
That's an interesting one. Um, I mean, it definitely doesn't help that Woody interjects in a lot of stuff on like day to day football stuff. So, um, but I do believe that he let Joe Douglas try to make the moves. Although maybe he was, I don't know if that was a mutual thing to bring Aaron Rodgers in, probably, but it might have been where Joe was last ditch trying to save his job. But um, some of that article is just makes no sense to me. So I don't really buy into some of that stuff. And it's two people that are like on the outskirts of uh, Jets media anyway, Rossini and the other guy from the Athletic. So I mean, because they wrote that scathing article last year. So this is what they do. They when it when the dirt is on there, they keep piling it on. So, but Woody Johnson, I mean, hopefully he goes off and works for Trump again. That's what he did 4 years ago or 8 years ago. Um, and I think his brother's a little more personable when it comes to players and agents and stuff like that. I don't know. The Jets are going to be the Jets. They do what they do. Um, I really have nothing to say for this. I'm like trying to figure out what to say because it's like dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded with some of the stuff that they've done. But firing Joe Douglas, regardless, they were going to fire him anyway. So why not just rip the Band-Aid off now, reset, and you're alerting everybody that all right, we're rebuilding. We're not going with this Aaron Rodgers facade anymore. Like that ship sailed 9/11 Buffalo game when he tore his Achilles. Like after that, he hasn't been the same. Um, Understandably so. He's 40 years old, coming off a major injury, um, and there's just nothing here right now. So um, I'm looking forward to what the future brings. Who they bring in as head coach, GM. I'm interested to see those picks. But yeah, next year they got to go for a QB in the draft, or you play out the year next year with Tyrod and whatever, and then look for the next draft next year. But they're drafting another quarterback at some point, most likely this year, depending on how bad we are. Which the only game I see that's winnable is the Jaguars game, and if Trevor Lawrence comes back, I don't know. That's toss up. So things are looking great in Florham Park.
For those that did not get a chance to read the article, some of the things mentioned in there is that he fired Salah without consulting anyone. He blocked Bryce Huff's extension. He nixed the Alan Lazard day 2 pick trade for Jerry Jeudy. He refused Hassan Reddick's extension demands. He pushed for Tyron Smith signing, Mike Williams signing, and the Devontae Adams trade. Benched Tony Adams against staff's wishes. And to your point about the Aaron Rodgers situation, they had to figure that out because he is due $23.5 million in 2025. They can't outright cut him. The best opportunity if they want to get rid of A-Rod is hope that he retires. If not, they have to make sure that they cut him by, I believe it was July 9th is the last time before they have to pay that full $23 million.
Miles is crazy. Miles is crazy. You're crazy because you're sitting here and you're lying to the people. You're sitting here, you're acting as if the Jet situation is healthy. Like we're just going through a typical tank and rebuild. If you can't win with that level of talent on your roster, you may never win. You may never win. Did you all pro, all world a cornerback, the best cornerback duo in the league. You got an all-world defensive line. For all
Wait,
these
did they
pieces.
did they leave with Joe Douglas? I'm sorry.
Because those guys, because when a new GM comes in and a new coach comes in, everybody that was there before just stays. That's how that works.
That's not how it works. But studs are gonna be there. Garrett Wilson, Sauce, all those guys. Brees. We've got like a solid foundation already. It's just
ignoring. You're diverting it.
I'm not diverting. I'm just
you are
checking you
because
I'm fact checking you.
No, that's it. I didn't say that. I said they're there. I didn't say they're going anywhere. But what I'm telling you, all I'm telling you is that when you have all the talent in your roster and you keep and you lose and you're habitually losing and you haven't had any success over the span of 25, 40 years, whatever it is, it's been a long time since they've won a championship. You weren't alive. I wasn't alive. It's been that long. The owner is a problem. It's a cancer from the top. It's a disease. It's a virus that spreads throughout the entire body. Like the Cowboys have all the success in the regular season, and they find a way to lose the big game. And I'm telling you, Jerry Jones is like a fungus in that organization. It's the same thing with Woody Johnson. He's a fungus in the organization. Let's just be honest about it. That's all I'm saying. The Devontae Adams trade made no sense. They were dead in the water, but they still did it. Joe Douglas is good at his job. He's identified a lot of talent. That's what he's supposed to do. A lot of all pros on that Jets roster are there because of him. He missed on Zach Wilson. But now I don't even know if he picked Zach Wilson if it was Woody Johnson. How do I know? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea if that's the quarterback he wanted. Sam Darnold was a miss too. Okay, I don't know if that precedes him. Moral of the story is that this is bigger than the guy picking the players, and it's bigger than the guy calling the plays. Firing Robert Saleh didn't make a whole lot of sense at this point in the season. You could have waited to the end. No team fires their GM middle of the year. It doesn't happen. We watch football for a long time. How many times does a team fire their GM mid-season? This early, it doesn't happen. It's you know what I mean? Like it's unreal. It doesn't make any sense. Clearly, Joe Douglas wanted out, which I'd read. Joe Douglas wanted out. He was like, all right, just fire me. Like you make all the decisions. I don't got to say anymore. Get me out of here. It's okay. I'll collect my checks. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we are with this situation. It's toxic. It's really, really bad. And with all that talent in the roster, they can draft a new quarterback. Into what ecosystem though? What coach is coming? What offensive guru coach is coming to coach Jalen Milroe, who's a running back right now, to teach him how to play football? Who's coming? Because Ben Johnson ain't coming. He's going to go coach Caleb Williams or Trevor Lawrence or something like that. He's going to work with one of those guys. So he ain't coming. Who's coming in this coaching carousel? Do you see what I'm saying? You see the problems that start to like stack on top of each other. And who's going to come work for Woody Johnson after everything's happened?
All those times ago. And what happened? Dolan stepped out of the way.
Is Woody going to do that though?
He will. He will do that.
You must have on speed dial.
This is not working. Well, because with Dolan, he was always in the way. That was always the issue. Players, they didn't agree with his way of running things, and that's why nobody was coming here. We were in the tank, as they say, for a long time. The Knicks, but since he stepped out of the way and let other people run his company, look what's happened. The team is pretty good, right? So the Jets have talent on this team. Yes. Is Woody Johnson an issue? Also, yes. But can he hire a coach and a GM? And is it possible for him to step out of the way and let them run things after seeing for how many years of him meddling or whatever in day-to-day activities? Can he do that? I believe he can. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's, you know, they always say that he's tuned into what the fans say and all that stuff. So if you're seeing fans telling you to sell the fucking team, sell the team. Sell my bad. Sell the team, then you should see that maybe I got to take a step back. Like, sure, go off to Europe and work for that orange man for 4 years, and let your little brother run things. He's a little more easier on the eyes for the fans to handle. So we'll see. It's gonna be a long off season for the Jets. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next moves are.
Looking forward.
I'm looking forward to it.
You over here trying to sell hope. You over here talking about I believe this. I was speaking. Everything I was saying is rooted in fact. I'm telling you what is. You're telling me what
how many? Yo, how long have we been doing this? And all that stuff you're saying about the Knicks with, oh look, they lost out on KD and Kyrie. They gonna be terrible forever.
It's so funny because
and now the shoe is on.
When I spoke about the Knicks, if we run back the film of what I was talking about the Knicks though, and this is I can bring it back to the Jets. When I talk about the Knicks, I talked about what was at the time. They were a bad organization. They were poorly run. They've been bad my entire life. That's all I ever said. I didn't say they'd be bad forever. I said they were bad my entire life. That's what I said. They went and got Jalen Brunson. Okay, their fortunes changed. Great. Awesome. Okay. Basketball's different. One player can change the entire team. Football is a problem because, a quarterback can change your team if you get the right guy.
Yes.
He's reliant on the right coach, on the right GM, on the right owner to create an ecosystem that works for him. That's the reality of it. Do you think Jaden Daniels is successful if Snyder's still there in Washington? No. I'm gonna answer it for you. No, he's not. He's not successful if Snyder's still there. He's successful now because Magic was over there smiling and all that, over happy as hell with his age coming in smiling, and now all of a sudden, everything changes. That's what happened. That's what happened. So the reality of the situation is the ecosystem with the Jets is bad. It's hard for anything to flourish. How does a flower grow out the ground in these situations? It's not going to bloom. It's not going to bloom. It's a bad situation.
You got me there. I have nothing more to say. I don't know.
And you see, if Jaden had to walk in to a Stan Snyder owned Washington team, it wouldn't have worked. Just like with RG3, just things, when you have a bad owner, bad things tend to happen. Like RG3 is running, blowing out his knee. Now he's on ESPN. Oh wait, now he got fired from that. Bad things just tend to happen to these teams. That's what happens. And I'm telling you, man, like Dak, injury after injury, Tony Romo, fumble the snap. Like these teams are bad owners, bad things happen to them. And it's almost inexplicable, except it's very explicable because the owner had a bad omen on the team. Let's be real, man. Let's be real about it. They set the tone for the entire organization.
But who's to say that it can't be like the Texans, where, sure, they've had a lot of bad luck in the last 5-6 years. Deshaun doing his thing, them firing a couple coaches back to back, not even giving them a full 2-year run. And then all of a sudden they find their coach. They find their quarterback. And then now things are looking real up right now.
Are we going to compare the Texans to the Jets? You want to do that? All right, let's do it then. Let's do it.
They're an expansion team. They've been around for what?
Okay, that's fine. They had Deshaun. He was amazing. Okay. Then, with God's grace, Deshaun, I believe the experiment, I don't know if I think they traded him, right? Is that what happened? They traded him away. Right as all of the craziness around him getting his Gucci, all that stuff came out to the public. All of it came out. They got rid of him, and he's a worse off player for it. Suspended. They avoided all the nonsense, right? They dumped their problems onto a different team, and they literally took everything from that Browns team in the process, and they've been profiting off of it forever. Now they've rebuilt. After giving their teams years of good football with Deshaun, they had his prime. They used his prime up like a running back, got him out of there. Now they got CJ Stroud over there. They back up again. They back one of the coolest teams in the one of the coolest franchises in the NFL. They're back up again. So can we compare it? Because the Jets ain't been up. They had a lot of talent. Zach Wilson was a bust. Sam Darnold was a bust. Mark Sanchez was the last guy you had success with, right? That run in 09. It's been tough. It's been tough. Jets fans are beat up. And I actually feel bad for Jets fans. I'm not saying this to disparage them, make them feel bad. I feel bad for them. This is a tough go of it. No one deserves this. No one deserves this kind of abuse, really. But that's what it's been. And we got to call it what it is. And I don't know how they fix the whole problem with Woody Johnson, but they've got to address that issue. I don't know how. Like, Cowboys fans are hoping that Jerry Jones dies so they can get out of this curse, man. This is how bad this stuff can be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just where we are. We just got to call a spade a spade. It's tough. I'm not saying there's no hope. They got a talented roster. You get the right quarterback, NBA works out. But I just know, watching football and watching sports guys, when you have a bad owner, bad things happen to your team anyways. You can have everything right. Bad things happen. It's just weird.
And that's why I'm targeting a guy like Vrabel, a guy I look at him and I see he's along the lines of like a Dan Campbell, somebody who's holding everybody accountable. He's been a leader for a long time. He's led those Texans teams to the playoffs for a while. I mean, he didn't get a fair shake in Tennessee either with the whole AJ Brown stuff. So, but I look at him and he's at the top of my list of people that we need in this organization. We don't need to just go get a first-time head coach who is an OC somewhere, hot up-and-coming name. Get somebody established. Stop with this, like, these brand-new guys who've never done it before. So you start there and then work your way up. Get the quarterback. So,
but who that's established is going to want to come coach under Woody Johnson with everything that we know? And when Bill Belichick is on that TV, on his little TV little segment with Pat McAfee, and he throws a jab at Woody Johnson weeks ago, saying it's been the same old nonsense with Woody. He said that. It was a few weeks ago. I remember that clip. And they were talking about the Jets. Like, who's going to want to go coach there if you're an established coach? What, you could wait and get another job. Why you got to take that one? You may have no choice but to hire a young guy like a Canales or something like that. And we see how that's going over in Panther. I'm serious. I mean, I know there's only 32 jobs in the NFL, but it's hard. Like, it's a hard sell right now. Joe Douglas is respected around the NFL. Everybody with an opinion who matters in this thing says Joe Douglas is great at what he does. Now, he's missed on quarterback. He's missed. But he is.
It's not like he hasn't missed. He missed on a whole draft. Like, there was a whole draft. His first draft, there's not a single player still balling in the league. Right?
Is that why you're losing games right now?
That's not why we're losing games.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Rodgers is playing terrible. It's the defense suffering because we fired our coach. There's a lot of things that happened. So,
because he's done a good job. Trust me, I've seen bad GMing. Joe Douglas has done a good job putting talent.
Yeah, his saving grace for a while was that Brees, Garrett Wilson sauce draft. That's a great draft, but surrounded by a lot of filth. So,
filth? What's the filth? It's Woody. That's the filth.
He's the one doing the scouting. He's the one drafting. I mean, we can look through his resume.
That's the problem. He is, though. He is doing the scouting. That's the problem. He's doing too much. And that's the problem, Miles. That's it. To your point right there. He just wants to get too involved. He wants to be a scout. He's trying to live out. He's trying to cosplay. That's what he wants to do. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I'm telling you. I don't envy. I feel bad. I'm not saying this. I don't take this lightly. I ain't laughing at Jets fans. This kind of misery, it makes me feel blessed to know that at least we have competent ownership with a job. At least I know that. You know what I'm saying? For real.